Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. First and foremost, I hope everybody's doing great. As always, this is going to help us navigate the next 7 days. You guys chose a great topic today. We're going to be looking at releasing anchors in your life, getting past any blocks. And it's interesting because we're going to talk about the channel messages in just a second, but a lot of what I was looking at in dreams, it really had to do with like direction, GPS, where you were headed. So I feel like all of this aligns nicely. So to that end, we're going to look at channeled messages first. And as always, these come through primarily in dreams, all in dreams today. Let me get the slide pulled up and we'll begin. Good to see everybody, like I said. All right, so here we go, folks. I'm going to just turn on my monitor on the side to make sure that you can see me too. You can, good. All right, so let's start with the first dream that I picked up on today. So I saw someone behind the wheel and the driving seemed to me a little bit erratic. It just felt like they needed to get off the road. So it was a pretty quick turn off the road, and then the person got out of the vehicle and just started walking. I could have put the Fool card here, but it did feel like it was taking a break, and that is more the energy of the Eight of Cups. It's saying, I need to pause, I need to get away from this situation for a second and get some clarity. And what I was seeing was diminishing returns, or again, not necessarily a very effective route. So for some of you that might be working on a project, might be trying to accomplish something, maybe even just personal development this week, give yourself a day to rest, to pause, to reset, and also just to kind of review. Do you like where you're going? Do you feel like you're seeing a return on your energetic investment? If you're getting yeses on all that, great. That's just confirmation. And if you're not, though, it gives you a chance to see what's out there. And possibly connect with kindred souls in your life, because I saw what I called here like a chosen family. But as you were walking down this path that was not the beaten path, but your own sort of path, you stumbled upon some old friends and some new ones. It was a combination. And it's interesting that when we get aligned to what we're supposed to do, we may lose a few people, just kind of like they fall and go in their own separate ways, but we also gain a few. And those are usually the people that you know, they're going to stick around because they're really there for your new path and what you're trying to do. So anyway, take one step at a time, take a break this week and get out a map. And when I say that, I mean, just make a plan for what it is you're trying to do. It's always good to have informed or intentional movement rather than just haphazard. Otherwise, you are going to have to pull the car to the side and figure out, where am I? Wayfinding here. But the road less traveled piece is saying you may have to do something that hasn't been done or is unexpected. I'm all for that. You know that. Editing and revising is also a big theme that I was picking up on for the next 7 days. The first thing that I saw was like a manuscript of some sort, but the person was using permanent marker, magic marker. And, you know, sometimes we're lucky and the first draft is perfect. Typically, iterations are necessary. And I think that this was maybe too like once and done. So make sure that you're giving yourself room and time so that you're not left with a first draft. Sometimes we have no choice. You know, you have like an hour to prepare for a meeting or something. And it's like, well, this is my first draft. It's going to have to be my best draft too. But if you can allow yourself time to sleep on it, to read it, to review it, to get another set of eyes and ears to check it out, I think that's going to be beneficial. Now, this is the most important one, and it was the last thing that I saw before I got up, and it was knowing that you can't erase something when it's been said or done. I like this Ten of Swords because it's from the Lightseers deck. She's not taking the bait. She knows going down a certain path could cause pain for herself or for others, so she chooses a different path, and that's very nicely aligned with all of the messages today. So this was a billboard like you would see on the highway, and it was right up there, like, you know, words that weren't nice, and then someone tried to like spray paint it or paint over it, but you could still read it. And to me, that was what it was. Like, if you can't elevate the conversation, or if people around you can't elevate the conversation, it's the wrong time to have it and probably not the right words to use. So this is really about we were talking about drafts, taking a few days before hitting send before sharing something, before saying something, particularly if it's a difficult conversation. Make sure that you feel absolutely solid that this is the best way, the best time, and that you feel like this is going to have the best outcome, because otherwise it's up there like the billboard. Let me see if there's a couple other things, because I did my best to consolidate it in 3 slides, but there was a lot that came through in dreams. I wrote the words character development, and to me this is your own character. You're working, like if you're a writer, character development is really fleshing out the character so people understand what they're about. I mean, I think you're going to do some of that for yourself this week. You might discover some depths that you didn't know that you had, some triggers that you weren't aware of, and you're going to be able to overcome or use them to your benefit. Networking is important, and you might have to get out of your normal sort of paths to find those people, and we saw that as well. The last thing was not to run in a different, like run backwards or go backwards, because that car was saying, I just need to move in a different direction. So not treading old ground, that's going to be important too. I was like, I don't need to put those into separate slides. We'll just talk off the top of the head as we're going into that. All right, we're going to get now into the 7-day forecast. Let me just turn the camera to the side here, and I'm going to find a deck that I want to use for this. I actually think I'm going to use a fountain deck for this, and it just is right there. It's calling to me. And we'll begin. All right, close your eyes, please. Focus, if you will, on the week ahead. Let go of any preconceived notions and just allow yourself and your guides and my guides to come forth, and we'll see what it's all about. Interesting. Okay, let's begin here. Let me just get the day markers, and we'll start off with today, this Sunday. We have a card of rest. So you have my permission today to take some time to yourself. The importance of the 4 of Swords is we can receive messages, and that's what that little bird is on that 4th sword. Now, typically, this would be a sepulcher. You would see a person sleeping, or it's a symbol of being at rest, like when someone's buried, putting something to rest. 3 swords above, 1 sword below, the sword below representing the clarity of mind that comes from putting something to rest and just the act of taking a break. So whatever work you need to get done, get it done. Then do something that is like this, feeling like, could be meditation, could be a nap, could be going to the beach, reading a book, listening to an audiobook, whatever, I don't care. Having some fun, watching a movie. They should be low key energy, at least in the latter part of the day. And then the 4 of Swords is also saying, particularly if there's been something difficult in your life, this is maybe a turning point where you say, I've gotten all I needed to out of that situation, and I'm going to let that be put to rest. Okay? Listen, I talked about this a little bit in a recent reading, and it's a new sort of epiphany that I've had with this card. Take a look. It's a sleepy card, but that bird on this sword, particularly just in this deck, can mean that you're sleeping on a message, an idea, an invitation, an opportunity. There might be something already around you, and you have to pause and think, wait, have I answered everything? Have I done everything? And you might be sleeping on something, not taking action on it. So ironically, when you take a break, you'll probably remember it, or you've been so busy that you've forgotten it. So take a moment to just do that little internal audit, and it's going to help you out. Okay, let's move on to the first day of the standard work week. Monday, we've got Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Feel free to speak up and say, this is what I stand for, this is what I need, or this is missing, let's do this. Something that I've been talking about in the last 2 or 3 signs is the power of neutrality in communication. So rather than putting into motion something that like, well, this is an outlandish idea or this is a good or bad one, just say, this is an idea, this is what I stand for. Be direct and non-judgmental, and let others basically judge an idea on the merits of its work and its true worth. If something's missing, this is a good way to negotiate and say, I think we should do this. This is going to help us achieve this. Stay in an affirmative or neutral place and stick to facts. And you can get it. The Knight of Pentacles can get what he's looking for, typically. In reverse, something's missing and he's communicating the lack. So the way he's going to communicate the lack is through facts, figures, and neutrality, because it's a lot easier to deal with, or mutually beneficial outcomes. I think we both want to get this done. This is what I need to help you do that. It's easier. It's easier than just saying, I need this, give it to me, right? You're saying, if you give me this, I can give you this. So that's what I see on this. Now, this is also developmental. I talked about character development, your character development, your personal sort of, growth and learning. Great day for that. Taking a class, reading a book, listening to a podcast, going to a seminar, talking to a mentor, talking to a therapist, whatever you need to feel supported and developed, okay? Monday's a good day, but something needs to be done to create either some equilibrium or to bring in some resources. Okay, we have Hanged Man coming through for Tuesday. All right, it's upright. It means that you're where you need to be, but maybe not where you want to be. And that's kind of like the hangman in a nutshell, right? So here's what I would say with this. Take a moment. This is the day also where that sleepy option that might be sort of sitting there comes through. When we pause, when we're waiting for someone to sign a document, give us approval, call us back, whatever, we can start to see some other things. I would love for you to turn your direction towards that, like something that you're interested in, that you haven't seen a lot of movement on. This is a day to use that new perspective, because that's what a hanged man does. He's upside down. He's looking at it from a different... And by the way, the mythology, this is a misunderstood card because it harkens back to Odin, who hung himself by his foot upside down from the tree of knowledge so he could learn the secret of the runes. So sometimes it's an intentional pause to gain knowledge, and that's what this is about. So you can learn something or see something if you slow down and look at things from a different angle. That's really what Tuesday is about. Try to enjoy the delay. I don't enjoy them either, I know. But try to embrace the delay. That's better. And see if you can't do something with it. You may also just simply have to work a little harder to get people to answer, a phone call, an email, etc. I always like to remind people of this. Don't force the connection. It's either going to happen or it's not. You give it a couple times, let it go, focus on something else. What's interesting is we see things working out. So in this card, there is a sun right around his head, creating this sort of nimbus of light. And then the next day we have the sun rising. So it's a little slower, takes a little time, but it works. So I like what we see here. Finding something that you might have forgotten, asking for something that you need, waiting for the reply, getting it. And just trusting too that when you ask for something or seek something or want to launch something, this is a birthing card, that it's going to be okay, because that's basically you creating a synchronicity. There was someone that was kind of, just being argumentative in the comments saying like, you can't create a synchronicity. You can call it in, you can affect it. If you believe in it, I mean, what do you think the high priestess does? She creates things. She recognizes them too. So I beg to differ. You can recognize, create, and help facilitate a synchronicity. You may not be able to force it, but you can welcome it in. Okay, so midweek, we have the sun, birthing energy here. This is a great day to announce something. It's a great day to get out into the world. This is a very, charismatic sort of energy. If you're around the sun, you want to have fun. You want to pay attention to them. If you are the sun, you call things into your energy. So if you need to ask for something, like a little baby, babies usually get what they want to. You don't need to cry or anything like that. It's mostly just sort of saying, it's the inverse actually. The giggling, the smiling, the joyful energy of a puppy or a child is what endears us to them. So use the joy in your energy to bring in great things and have some fun. Absolutely. If I get like 6 of Cups, Sun, or Fool energy, it's like get out in the world, take a break, have some fun, do something that brings joy. Okay? I really love this. And it is a day to let go of something too, because this is the card of birthing. The Empress is still holding on, still nurturing, still creating it, ready to birth, but the Sun comes through saying, you've done enough work. So Wednesday looks pretty good overall. You may want to do a little bit more, or spend a little bit more time, I should say, with your family. And it is a day to focus on you. Okay, inner child energy coming through loud and clear. All right, first challenging card. I don't really see this as a challenge. I just see it as a, gotta wait a second. This one's a little challenging. So on Thursday, communication. 5 of Swords. So as you know, 5 of Swords, I'm just looking really quick, I don't see, okay. 5, 7, and 5 and 7 of Swords and the Devil. They usually work in concert. So when I see one, I'm looking for the other ones. And sometimes the Moon is off in the distance too. These are the cards where you don't see everything. Like there's usually like strings attached. So if you have to sign a contract on Thursday, really make sure that you pass that through a couple set of eyes. Look for all of the sort of loopholes that might be there, because 5 of Swords can create something down the line that could cause conflict. It's a card of conflict. When it comes to people receiving any sort of constructive criticism, usually they're not listening when this card comes through. Also, I mean, nobody's perfect. We're all human. If we receive constructive criticism, sometimes the defensive walls go up and you're not listening. But the most easy to recognize energy of 5 of Swords is when someone just likes to argue, likes to push your buttons, and is just unpleasant to be around. If you happen to see any of that, pull the car to the side of the road and go in a different path. We're talking figuratively, because you don't have to keep doing that. The older you get, the more you realize that it's one of the archetypes of people on this planet, but we don't have to consistently deal with that in every scenario. Now, if it is a family member or a coworker, it takes a little bit more time to untangle, but this isn't a day where you want to waste your time and energy on that. Rising above, elevating speech, avoiding the 10 of Swords. This is the day to focus on that particular channeled message. Okay, moving to Friday, it's good. It's worth whatever you had to go through here, because now we have abundance coming through. So I'll turn it upright even though it was reversed. They're kind of showing all of the pentacles coming out as this sort of radiating energy. Normally we would see someone kind of like being able to take the fruits of their labor and be able to have this bounty. There's all of these usually vines growing or wine, and you see all the pentacles on the bushes. There's always a bird. There's usually a snail. The bird can recognize incoming messages, and the snail is saying, take your time. This is also fiercely independent. You're very close to accomplishing something. You can gain some perspective and possibly get to that finish line a little faster just by reaching out and asking for help. You don't have to do it all on your own. You can. There might be a better way to work with a group. So the teamwork message that I talked about also in channel messages, it's coming through strongest on Friday. I saw 1 or 2 very close allies that felt like you'd known for a very long time. So maybe go to those trusted people, and then they can connect you to others if you need that. Friday's a good day. It's money. This is a card of money, wealth, and abundance, and it's more than enough. One thing that I would say with the card in reverse is don't second guess your ability to create abundance, to break a cycle of lack, or to ask for more. Next weekend, looking at next Saturday. So this is a day where you may need to do some of the planning that I talked about. 2 of Swords comes when we're at an impasse. We don't know what to do next. Sometimes the options placed in front of us are too similar. Sometimes we are sort of like just not sure because maybe there is no clear path. This is when intuition comes through. So the blindfolded cards, the 8 of Swords and the 2 of Swords, basically they're inviting you to use the third eye, to look within, to look around, to look beyond black and white, what's on paper, what's obvious. And that's my advice. So this is a great day next Saturday for meditation and to understand all that your higher self, your angels, your guides, your spirits, your spirit guides rather, expect of you is to do your best and to make the best call that you can. There was an epiphany I had when I was maybe in my 20s or whatever, 30s too, when I just sort of, I'd reached the age where my parents were when they had me, and I think they were like 28 and 32 when they had me. My mom was 28. So I thought, how were they ready for a child at that age? Because I certainly wasn't. I was still just learning things. And I always looked up to them thinking they always had it together and they could always give me the answer. And I bet you there were many days that they were going through the Two of Swords, but they didn't show it. I've said this before, if you don't know the answer, you can also say, I'm going to figure that out. Give me a day. Great question. Or you connect someone to that person. Or you take the best possible path that you can with the given information. Those are your ways around the Two of Swords. Find a mentor, get informed, buy some time, and then eventually just take a leap. You've got two swords. One of those aces is worth it. And if it doesn't pan out, you can always try the other one, all right? Don't get into the stagnation energy of the Two of Swords. So the truth of the matter, back to my parents, was they were just figuring it out, but they did a good job. And everybody goes through that sort of, am I going to be able to figure this out energy, the imposter syndrome and all of that stuff, right? Okay. Let's look at a week from today, next Sunday. So we have the Four of Cups. Both of these fours were very interesting because they show something that isn't obvious. So the Sunday card for this Sunday is this hidden message. And then we have a hidden blessing here. The cup is right behind him. He's only paying attention to this and his gaze is in the distance. What happens with Four of Cups sometimes is boredom, jealousy, distraction, malaise, uncertainty, lack of focus. Any number of emotions can come through because it's kind of up to interpretation when you look at the traditional one. In this one, it's kind of like, it's a little meh. He's like, is this it? Is this all there is? And the universe is like, ahem, look over here. We're aligning something better for you if you would pay attention. So it's about seeing the bigger picture and knowing that sometimes there is a hidden blessing. It just requires a little bit of imagination and faith. Okay? So highlights and challenges for this week ahead, and then we'll move on to elemental forecast. The sun is just bright and shiny, and it's the one upright card here right at the center that just calls to my focus and attention here. So I would say Wednesday is the best day of the week by far. I think that you can get a lot of what you need and want on Monday and Friday. It requires communication and self-worth, self-esteem sort of energy here on Friday. So focus on that and know that if you believe that what you're asking for is something that you deserve, you can get it. If you emanate with joy, positivity, and possibility, you also have a better chance of getting these things faster. I actually think biggest opportunities are today and a week from today, Sunday and Sunday, because there's something bigger, better than you might be looking at right to the periphery, but it requires recalibration emotionally. The rest of the days are just patience here and then elevating communication. So it's pretty good, folks. All right, we're going to move on to the elements. And the elements basically going to give us the one part of this reading that is sign specific. Everything else that you see here is for all that are present. All right, so let me grab a deck for this, and then we'll continue. While we're doing that, if you like what you see, like and subscribe. It helps. All right. Let's see what's calling. Okay, here we go. Let's just push these to the side. Okay, fire, very synchronistic. Earth, air, and water. All right, let's start off with fire signs. This is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So you are aligned to that energy of Tuesday. I love that we have a power symbol as the tree of life. This is a little bit more akin to what I was talking about, not the tree of life, tree of knowledge. And we see that it's going to be okay. You're going to come out of this feeling empowered. Whatever pause or delay or challenges in front of you, take your time, one step at a time, and you're going to be all right. Being cool, calm, and collected is so important. So, it's funny. On the internet now, we see all of these people behaving poorly and creating scenes, and I want to talk to the manager and all of that. So One thing that you can do is if you have a dispute, it's a quiet storm, to use like an old term from Chardin. You go in with a smile, not condescending. You go in and say, I have something I need to talk about. Here's what's going on. Keep a cool, calm, collected stuff. Keep it to the facts. Lodge whatever you have to say, and then let it go and wait. Wait patiently. Patience, kindness, and communication will get you what you need. So the Hanged Man is taking your time. Take your time to do anything right the first time. It's better to delay it and then launch something that looks really, really good, whatever that might be. And if someone else needs time or space, give it to them. Take your time, enjoy the space, see what else you can focus on. Also see what ideas and thoughts come up if you're left in that zone where you're waiting. So if you've reached out to someone and there's crickets, think, who else can I talk to? That person's not receptive. And I'm kind of tired of waiting. So I'm going to focus on something else rather than getting anxious or angry about that. I'm going to open up my mind to other portals and opportunities. Okay? That's pretty much it. One health note, since we keep getting this, pay special attention to ankles, Achilles tendon, the shoe that you're wearing. I don't think this is a great week to be wearing high heels or tight shoes. You want to wear something comfortable. And if you're having any issues with your foot, obviously go to a podiatrist or orthopedic specialist. But that's the one other area that can be sensitive with the Hanged Man. Okay. Pretty good week overall. Things are going a little slower than you'd like, but they're going exactly the divine pace that they should be. There are four cards there, the Four of Cups and the Four of Swords, showing hidden opportunities that may only come when you slow down. So Four of Cups can be something that brings joy in your life. Four of Swords, that could actually be a new idea or a new path, or putting something to rest. So the pause is coming so you can recognize these hidden gifts. All right, so keep an eye out. Leave no rock unturned. There's something to look at and see, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Moving on to earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It's a social week. So what I saw in my dreams was someone taking a selfie. It was a group of people. I saw two friends that were someone that I recognized too, and then a bunch of strangers, but they were all mutual friends. And then it was kind of interesting. The picture was taken and there was like fast forward. So there's this group that brings you to a new opportunity, or things start to go really quickly. So if you get out there and meet someone, they could really sort of be a catalytic energy, a catalyst in your life where all of a sudden things start to take off. The card's reversed. Some of you are in a hermit phase. Three of Cups is about mixing, mingling, celebrating, embracing this sort of social energy. So for those that are used to hermiting, this is a week to get out of it. You'll actually be a good social butterfly once you're in the crowd or in the group. So you don't have to stay for long, but make an appearance. That's basically what I see with this. Avoid gossip. The Three of Cups in reverse is a gossipy and a cliquey sort of energy. Think like Mean Girls or something like that. We don't want that. We don't need that. If there's a group of those people in your life, you're going to like say, thank you, no. And if someone invites you in to gossip, don't. We saw the billboard with all the stuff. It's like the burn book that got shared, or in like Cruel Intentions, that book that she had, everything like that. We don't need that out there. So elevate speech, mix and mingle, have some fun, celebrate the little victories that you have this week. This is being grateful, gratitude journal, stuff like that. And when it comes to relationships, some of you may be at different points of especially if you're looking for love. You might meet someone who just wants to date, or you meet someone who's immediately ready to settle down, and it may be antithetical to what you want. So take your time and like just honor where you're both at. And if you're not at the same place, you're not at the same place. Same thing with contracts and work. If you're with someone who wants something different, you're not going to change them, but you might have to change your path. That's why it was a pretty powerful thing to get off the street. It just seemed like you were going to drive off into something that just wasn't good. So follow that sort of like what you feel in your heart and trust it. Okay, let's move on to earth signs. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So Libra, you actually came through because justice is you, but all the air signs can relate to this. So justice, doing what's right, doing what's fair. Justice in reverse is saying, this doesn't work for me. It can literally just be a single word, no. So if there's something that you don't want, say it. If someone did an injustice to you. It's about righting the wrong. And there's so many ways you can do that. It could be legal action because that's what this card's about. It could be speaking up, just telling them your truth. It could be informing others about this. Remember what I said with the billboard, though? Let's make sure that we keep it honest, fair, and factual, because stuff that's been put out there is out there. So those are the kind of notes on that. Now let's take it off of that and say, justice is also just, if we look at the scales, about creating proper balance in your life. There could be something that is taking you out of your zen, out of your focus, out of your balance. And this is also a time to reclaim it, basically. Reclamation of power and balance and righting a wrong or speaking up, using your voice this week for sure. And I think in the very last sign that I read for, I think it was Sagittarius, I was saying that, or it could have been one of the dailies, there's so many readings. Being direct is not, let's not conflate it with being negative. Direct is just concise and to the point. So positive speech can be direct, negative speech can be direct. It's just, concise, they're not all the same. So an example here is, you're amazing. That's direct, it's clear, it's also really kind. I love you, 3 words. Very kind, very direct, very elevated. Take love out and put hate, direct, not so kind, doesn't leave it in a good place. You don't have to use lots of words to say a lot. So this, whenever I get a sword reverse like this, it's saying really pick and choose, whittle it down to the most effective and most important words, use those. And they can either be really, really kind or very, very clear. They can also be cruel. You choose what's best for you. I'm just reminding you of the power of words this week. Enough said. Pretty good week. I will say typically with justice, you're going to achieve the balance or get what you're looking for, but something needs to be addressed when justice is reversed, okay? Moving on to water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, letting go. Some of you are holding on to something longer than you need to. You might also be allowing others to pay or give you less than you deserve. And so this card is about saying, I'm not afraid to let this go. I'm not afraid to ask for more, because as we looked at the cards just a few moments ago, we saw 2 windows where you could get what you want, bookending the week, Monday and Friday. It might take a few days. You might have to call someone out on their nonsense, but you can do it. We're looking at water here, so emotions make a lot of sense on this one, because notice that the biggest coin, maybe next to the crown, is right over her heart. And so what we do sometimes is we hold on to something because we're afraid of what might happen if it's not there. Even a toxic relationship, job, or living situation, it's like, well, at least I know this. That's the devil you know. So if you're hanging on to the devil you know, you're still hanging on to the devil, let it go. Elevate your opportunities. And definitely it's a week where you can negotiate for more, and you shouldn't extend yourself beyond your limits. And that was in alignment with today's daily card, the 7 of Pentacles reversed, which is saying, you know what you're worth, you know what you can do, don't overextend, don't overspend. This one, you know that you're not getting enough, so reach for more and don't accept less, because we don't want to get you in that sort of lack mentality. Okay? There you go. So, so there's some really, really positive stuff. I think the week overall is pretty good, but I like it when we have things that are showing where we can do the work. Otherwise, you don't know what to focus on. So I feel like we definitely have things that we can work on, things that we can embrace. And again, remember that the sun energy is reminding you of the power of positivity for this week. Okay, so we're going to get ready now for the special topic today. Today's special topic is about releasing anchors and blocks. Anchors, things that hold you still, like stagnation. Blocks, literally what they sound like, things that are blocking you from moving forward. By the way, before I get the deck, someone was asking about my signs. They're on my FAQ, but I am Libra Sun, Taurus Moon, Virgo, what is my Virgo placement? I just lost it for a second. Venus, and Capricorn Ascendant. But FAQ has a lot of that stuff. So before you ask, go to my website. Most of it's there. While I'm getting the card set up, a reminder, if you haven't checked out my podcast, it's available on the podcast tab. You can look at it a little bit later. And let me go ahead and choose the deck for this, and then we'll get into the special topic. All right. All right, I'd like everyone to close their eyes. Focus today on just, first of all, take a deep breath, clear your mind, and think about the week ahead, and just allow yourself to see what's possible. Rather than seeing where you're blocked, we're opening beyond that, because focusing on the block is only going to bring the block in. You can kind of put out there, I'm ready to release this, and then just let it go. All right, because that way I'll pick up on it, but it's not going to be the primary thing that I see. Some beautiful synchronicities with the Sun and the Ten of Swords, which I featured. Well, this one was in the spread, but that one I featured in the channel messages. I chose this deck because it has that lovely Eight of Cups Jupiter energy. Even if it doesn't appear here, I love the illustrations as well. All right, give me a moment here to finish pulling the cards. Appropriately enough, we'll be using Lord Ganesha to have for the catalyst, which will help us get past any blocks that we might have. Lots and lots of synchronicities also with the stepping to the side of the street. I'm loving what we're seeing here. For all the Cap risings out there, it's a great rising sign, isn't it? It helps me with business so much. Virgo is my perfectionist side. I like things to be beautiful. Virgo and Libra are actually very nice complementary energies. But anyway, let's get back to the focus here. I see cross chat here. Let's begin with Catalyst. All right. Lord Ganesha is coming through saying, keep an open mind. I mean, the card in and of itself is saying you can get past your blocks if you're open. So if it's reversed, it's the stubbornness that kind of permanent marker. I was talking about that in channel messages. Lord Ganesha is like, why does it have to be permanent? Why don't we just write it in pencil? We can adjust it. We can change it. This will help you move beyond an anchor or a block. So we already have got it there. Sometimes it's just a mental block. The mental block calls in, creates, reinforces physical or energetic blocks around us. And this is where that person was saying you can't call in a synchronicity. I'm like, yes, you can. You can by thoughts, because if you believe it can't happen, you won't see the synchronicity. If you believe it can happen, it's going to come through. Is that not a way of calling in a synchronicity? So believing that you can means that you can. And so stay open. That's the first and the most important message. And being open to ideas, criticism, information, different outcomes, possibilities. We have Judgment at the center. All right, so Judgment in reverse. Sometimes when we are face to face with the thing that we wanted most, and it's here, we think, nah, this is a dream. This isn't happening. I'm not ready for this. It can be imposter syndrome. It can be disbelief, even in the light of something that is absolutely heaven sent or higher self coming through and saying, no, you've got this. This is why it's happening. So the most elevated reading of this card reverse would be, you see it, but you still don't believe it. Have more faith. Trust that you're ready and deserving of it. Let the judgment go. Judge yourself higher. Release judgments across the board. Neutrality is really where I try to go as a reader. That's my journalistic training too, back in the day. It's not so much anymore when you look at journalism, but when I went to school, there was I had to take ethics classes, and one of the things that we were trained in was, you may have your own thoughts or interests, but you have to think about everybody that you're writing for, and you have to ask questions that everybody's curious about, and you have to keep your own sort of stuff to the back. And so when you're looking at stuff in front of you, if you keep a neutral mind, an open mind, thank you, Lord Ganesha, you can see more. So just stay open. And instead of thinking it can't, think, why can't I? You know, like, I can't do this, I won't do this, why can't I? When will I? How can I? So that's even better. Just change the questions around, change the thought into a possibility. What if I fail? What if I magically, amazingly succeed and all of the things that I hoped for come through? I think that's really what this is about, is just maybe not doing something because you're afraid of failure, but I don't think that that's it. Like, what if it happens? Be prepared for success. That's the energy for the week ahead. That's the big anchor here. And then we have the manifestation card on top of this, the Magician, calling into existence all of the possibilities, bringing forth the path where you'll meet your synchronicity. The Magician can also be a jack of all trades, meaning that there may be something that you've never tried, but given practice, faith, and just openness, you may have a natural affinity for it. Try a lot of different things. This is especially for the younger people that are watching. If you're still thinking of going down a different path, you know, take different internships, take a class that's way outside of your major, try that out. For the people that are mid-career or retired, same thing. Do something that you haven't done before. The Magician is saying, you've got all these elements in front of you. Why only paint with 3 or 4 of the colors? Choose the whole 32, 64, 128. Remember the big Crayola things? Paint with all of the different colors, all the different crayons. Have some fun. Focus is the only thing you really need to have with the Magician, because distraction can ensue. But explore the possibilities, pick something that you like, focus on that, believe in yourself, okay? The Magician is basically giving you the special antidote for what's not working here. Disbelief is about belief in possibilities. Like, get that on top of it and you're going to neutralize it. It's already here, folks. Whatever it is that you're seeking, you might not be looking in the right direction. This is a really cool 3 of Wands. They're floating over the water, over the boats, in the point where things are starting to happen. So 3 of Wands always shows ships somewhere in the picture, if it's standard Rider-Waite-Smith derivative. The ships are things moving toward you. And I say this every time I see it, or depending on the illustration, but if you expect something to only happen at a certain time, from a certain person, in a certain form, then you miss it. So this is also, Lord Ganesh is helping us quite a bit today. Be open to something looking radically different, but maybe being amazingly perfect. This could mean that you're chosen for a job and you're like, I don't have that skill set, but someone sees it in you. I had a boss who told me before I left my corporate path that I was a producer. I'd always done design work instead, and I knew I had other skills like writing and things like that, but this person said, you're a producer. You don't know it, but you're a producer. And they were right. It took me quitting and doing my own work and producing stuff to say, yeah, I actually kind of like it. And it is a very creative thing. Everything they said was right. So sometimes others can see in you what you are or what you can do before you see it. So if someone that you trust, or someone that's really successful. If they say, hey, you should try this, and the immediate thing that pops into your head is, that's not me. That may not have been you in the past, but that could be you in the future. Give it a shot. Give it a try. You never know. Something bigger or better is waiting for you. If you're willing to look in a different direction, try something else. Keep your eyes and ears open. Keep your mind open. That's really what this is. There's an immediacy in the 3 of Wands. It's already happening. It's underway. And it's basically saying, there was this song by the Smiths, how soon is now? Now. It's right now. And it's right here. So maybe you need to do it yourself. So entrepreneurs out there, this is for you. Maybe you need to move. This is a card of traveling. Maybe you need to turn and try a different direction. One small change, one small perspective shift equals success. And that's all I have to say on that. This is a very, very successful card, though. So success, it's in the cards. It's in the deep past, meaning that you've done the work to achieve it. This is a birthing card. So it's coming through. This week is a very successful week. Okay. 5 of Swords, synchronistic. We have a lot of cards that came through again in this special topic. This Five of Swords gives us literally a different perspective. We're seeing it from the point of view of the person that is kind of having all these fingers pointed at them. Accountability is something that is typically lacking in the Seven of Swords. But what happens in the Five of Swords is someone else, it's not you. It's someone else doesn't want to take the accountability, so they point the finger at you. And it is sort of like, what are you talking? Like, you can see the disbelief, the anger, the surprise in this person as the, big eyes. And it is sort of like even rage. We're not going to go there. We're not going to elevate this to the Ten of Swords. You're going to recognize the pattern in it's either someone around you or a group of people around you where it's like it never makes it. You could try anything. It's not going to make a difference. So don't get angry. Just get into a new direction. It's not worth your time. I will always say that with the Five of Swords, it's one of the only cards that you can't change that person, can't change their mind. All you're going to do is waste breath and get angry. And so I typically just turn the channel when I receive that. Now, there's another interpretation, which is it's the inner saboteur. We have them actually here. So I just want to remember that Judgment was reversed. So we have the Angel in the Judgment card, and we have the Agent of the Devil here with the Five of Swords. The Angel and the Devil. Judgment is saying there's something new waiting for you, because it is a card of rebirth, renewal. The souls are rising up from the dead, which would be, in this case, stagnation or an anchor. And it's possibilities. And then we have the Birth card here, the Sun. Then we have the Saboteur coming through saying, you're not good enough. It's not going to happen. You can't do this. Stop it. It's taunting you. Sometimes we taunt ourselves. I don't know why, but we do. It's the shadow. It's the inner shadow. It's everything in life has, there is this sort of, in this dimension that we're existing in, we have polarity. There is light and there is dark. So it's just the shadow energy coming through and testing you a little bit. Don't let it prevail. Be the light this week. Be the sun. Go for it. Reach. Look at all the hands in this sort of solar disc. They're reaching out and they're creating. Looks like a sunflower too, with all those little flowers within a flower. And if you can see it, if you can reach for it this week, you can move beyond that. And I think for some of you, it's just the inner saboteur, but it could be saboteurs around you as well. Someone trying to block or sabotage your success, but the sun definitely trumps this card. So this is a minor arcana, this is the major arcana, and the sun is one of the most powerful cards in all of the 78 or so cards in tarot. So it's very, very strong. And just think about what it does in each solar system out there. It's the glue. Be the glue, be the light, lead the way. Create something new. Be positive. We talked about all of that. Avoid this. We have two cards that are showing, they're working together. So yeah, we now have Five of Swords and the Devil. The Ten of Swords also connected to all of this energy. Let's just take it a card at a time. Near future. This is avoidable. That's why I featured a different one. I'm going to bring it up while we're talking. Yes, here we go. It was readily there. All right, so here's what we want to avoid, and here is the elevated version right here where she's like, been there, done that, no thanks. I'm not going to fall for your tricks. I'm going to go in a different direction. There's always a rising sun or moon or light source in this card, so you have to rise above and you have to elevate conversation. If something happens and it isn't ideal, a setback, I don't believe in failure, but a perceived failure or a block, it is there to, it's spirit saying, look over here, look over here, look over here, look in another direction so you can see what's possible. This is not the way. If we can take whatever Ten of Swords might be incoming, if we're not the source of it, if it's incoming, say, well, I know I don't want that. I don't want to do that again. So how can I learn from it? It's the Hanged Man, which we got here in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities. So happy that it came through again. Notice how they're always in typical illustrations are in a tree, showing you to stay grounded, to look at the possibilities and just think, what else can I do besides this? That's the key this week. Something may not go as planned. Something may be much better. Something may be less than optimal. We want to focus on this. Notice the solar disk. It's different decks. We've seen it again. It's here and it's here. Rising Sun. The Fountain deck had it. So does the True Heart Intuitive. So there's going to be a light bulb aha moment that kind of comes to being after this. First, we have to look at how you're coming through. It's a card of liberation when reversed, but there is something from the past that showed its head again, reared its head. And it could just be any number of things. Maybe you didn't speak up when you should have. Maybe you didn't listen to your intuition. Maybe you just doubted yourself or doubted someone else. They came through, but you thought to yourself, gosh, that was limiting. The devil can just be the limiting thoughts. And that's what I was really picking up on. I think it's the inner saboteur, or it could be in the environment, someone who's just negative. Let's take that down. Kind of like if you see levels in editing software, let's just mute that one and let's bring up the other stuff. If there is something in your life where the sacrifice is not worth the benefit, this can be a contract in particular. The devil loves a contract. So if you're signing a contract and intellectual property is lost or payment is low, remember I saw some of you, I think it was Water, had the Four of Pentacles. Nope, that's not enough. You got to advocate for what you deserve. We're cutting strings, and you're saying thanks, but no thanks. And yeah, there's always a string or chain. We can see it right here with the rope. You're just saying no. Unconditional love, unconditional support, moving beyond that. Thank you, no thank you. If you are looking for love and you meet someone and they are not out of a relationship, this is not the time to kind of connect with that energy. Again, if you're asked to do something, this is for my air signs, that is not morally, legally, or just intuitively on the level, isn't right, don't do it either. The devil always tries to convince us that no one will notice, it'll be fine, this is okay. No. So follow the Justice card, follow the Four of what was it, Pentacles reversed, let it go, release it, fight for what's right. All right, what's going on around you? This card wants you to stay still as well. I love Medusa, the illustration in this deck. I also love her as a mythological figure. What's happening here is someone's trying to stop you from thinking through something. So obviously in traditional mythology, if you look at Medusa, a Gorgon, you turn to stone. And so when we're looking at this Five of Wands, it represents work. It can also represent the movement of thoughts and ideas. That's what I picked up on in this particular reading. Someone doesn't want you to ask critical questions, to think critically. And this was one of the reasons that I eventually, in my own path, and no disrespect to organized religion, but the one church that I was at the time where I was asking questions, well, why did this happen? They were like, you just have to have faith. You don't ask questions like that. I'm like, no, I think that the creative energy that put all of this into motion would want us to be curious. So sometimes it comes from a religious background. Sometimes it's government, or sometimes it's family. It's structures like the Hierophant that have been put into place that are used to people just blindly following. You're not blindly following. You're asking a question that makes maybe people uncomfortable, because they don't know the answer. Or you know, it's okay to ask the big questions. And if anyone tries to clamp down on curiosity, it's usually a big red flag, right? That's the main message for this. Work smarter, elevate and lead in this instance, because also it's a stalemate. And that's probably why the illustrator and Rachel chose this particular deity, because what happens here, not deity, but like demigod or whatever, mythological figure. Because what happens here is Five of Wands, typically all of the people are pushing against each other's energy, and as a result, nothing happens. So it's the same as turning to stone. Someone has to become the sixth wand and the leader, basically. And that's your opportunity this week. Choose your moment well. Take your time. Hanged Man. We've talked about it a lot. It is not a bad card. We can see the inside if you focus on that. If this card, if we didn't see that the person was hanging, what's going on? They are illuminated. It's a nimbus, a halo. there's light, the sun, and the person seems pretty calm. It also looks like a yoga pose, right? And so it's not bad. It just is sometimes uncomfortable because we want to move faster. So I saw you going from a fast mode of transportation, a car, to a slower one, foot. So that's maybe all it is for some of you, is shifting gears a little bit and going slower, looking at what's going on around you, seeing if you haven't missed something. And then as a result, in the outcome, we have a great card, 10 of Pentacles. I love that we have a couple of peacocks here. This is also about showing your true colors. These are both divine masculine energies. So this is a week to take action, to be bold, and to show who you are without apologies. You've got this, okay? 10 of Pentacles is also, for some of you, it can represent, it's a marriage, it's a contract, it's wealth, it's networking, it's people, and it's opportunities. It's love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest form. 10 of Cups is a little bit more love and relationships. 10 of Pentacles is a little bit more contracts, business, and people. But there's also, this is marriage, so it can be love. It can be a great partnership this week coming through too. But we see abundance going in the right direction. That's why I didn't want the water signs to settle if they're not getting what they need, because we see this. So there you go. Okay. We're going to now expand this to take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Turn the camera down, take another drink, and then we'll begin. We're going to start off with health. We have a birthing card nicely connected to this. And the energy here, and again, we're reading for health, which is mind, body, and spirit, is to surrender. I can release my need to control. What is this? The ultimate control card, the control freak card, I should say, the devil. The devil wants to control everything, even what it shouldn't. So sometimes this can represent parental, boss figure, friend, anyone in your life that keeps edging in on your ability to just like take care of yourself. So we're going to release that. And if you have, this did come through in self. So this can be perfectionist or controlling tendencies. And from time to time, we all have them. We're going to let that go. Let it go. So we have a big old fertilized egg here. There's something better that needs to come through this week. And we have a birthing card. So let's put the energy into something more fruitful, okay? This, whenever there's an egg, a seed, a star, a stone, they're all pentacles, roughly. So there's a big old ace of pentacles that wants to come through this week. Let's put the energy there, or let's put the development within. And because this is birth, rebirth, there's a chance to move beyond failure or frustration and have abundance come through. We go from 10 of Swords to 10 of Pentacles. That's a comeback story if I've ever seen one. We'll look at it more when we go into wealth, but just know this, there is rebounding energy. And this is also being able to get through something challenging. So I'm going to start with this, then we'll go to this. This, in health, takes on the energy of chronic pain or fatigue, or someone who hurt you. It can be feeling angry or hurt or violated. It can be just really frustration. I was thinking about, it's interesting that this came through. I thought to myself, you know, there's some people in love or relationships where if the other partner doesn't return it, instead of recognizing it, I don't know why it came through. I was brushing my teeth and that was the download. So I'm sharing it with you because now I see why. Instead of just knowing that that's they're giving you the truth, they're not interested, or something wasn't a match, then there's just anger and infuriation. Like, well, entitlement, that's what it is, isn't it? Okay, so we need to avoid people that are entitled, and we need to release our own entitlements this week. And sometimes it's just not meant to be. If the other person doesn't want it, you can't force it. And if somebody lacks the empathy to communicate something well, you deserve better. We're kind of going in many categories, but health touches many categories. It touches our wealth. It touches our love and relationships. This 10 of Swords is more nuanced. It could be what we see here, a pain in your back, a chronic pain or fatigue in your body, but it could also be much deeper And it feels to me like it's an emotional 10 of Swords. So hopefully that helps. Okay. Judgment can be a close call where something didn't work. You hoped it would have worked, and well, actually, let me put it this way. It's working in your favor. You had something, it was scary, but you got past it. That's what I wanted to say. So it's a wake-up call. So if the doctor, for instance, says, hey, you're very lucky, but you have to do this, you want to listen to that. Or if something could have blown up and you know you could have done better, moving forward, you have to do better in whatever it is, whether it's physical, emotional, work, life, whatever. This is a wake-up call that old pattern can't really, like, one more day, you can't be kind of connected to that. Okay? So heed the sort of warning and embrace the wake-up call. We see really good things here when you start to focus on possibilities, you can bring it in. Okay? Emotional and relationship energies coming through in health. Some of you have to get out of a toxic relationship. It's already decided here. And it'll be beneficial for you. So the relationship can be anything, love, work, or family. But I see a need to go in another direction, okay? This is a very interesting health read because it isn't just health, it's environment, it's everything. Health is holistic. I read holistically anyway. Okay. If you feel like you can't think your way out of a situation, some of it could be what's been taught or projected on you. So this is a great time to reach out to someone else that has the energy of Ganesha. Have you thought about this? Would you like to read this book? I'd love you to talk to this person. Find a connector. And again, it could be a therapist, a friend, a mentor, whomever in your life that you feel like you want to talk to. Someone who's open and non-judgmental. Literally, we have judgment in reverse at the center. So open-minded, non-judgmental, they can help you through the stuck thought process. And most importantly, since we are looking at health, if you have a doctor or a person in your life that's trying to control or push you on a path, and you're like, I don't get it, I don't want to do it, please don't. Go to someone else, get a second opinion, explore the options. Always worth it. I recently had a really bad experience with a dentist who just didn't tell me what was entailed with like a procedure or whatever. And I was like, I want my records. I want the stuff that I paid for. I'm going somewhere else. They were shocked. And I said, and I'm staying here. You got to give me the x-rays. You got to give me everything. And I'll sign the termination. Like, I wasn't informed and I don't like the way that you work. And that was it. It was very calm, cool, calm, collected. But I'm like, and I want it today, because they were kind of playing games. And she was like, okay. And that was it. We're done. So if something doesn't work, this is especially for the air signs out there too, say, no, this isn't it. Give me I'll cut my losses. I'm going to move on in this direction. Okay. So always take the power back. Some people that are practicing any given thing, but particularly some doctors, they're not listening. They're not empathizing. They assume. They push stuff. You don't want that. Okay. The good news, and then we'll get into wealth, is from this comes this. Close call, an uncomfortable situation, a pretty good outcome. A second chance, using your power, using your strength, bouncing back. It may not be perfect, but it's going to end in a really good place, okay? Better than if you stay in this hot soup of mess, the 10 of Swords, the Devil, and the 5 of Wands. We don't need that. You can move in a different direction, okay? All right. Now we're going to move on to wealth. And wealth is looking good, especially when we see this to this. But before I look at that, one more time, it's resources, folks. Everybody, whether you're a student, working, or retired, or somewhere in between, we all have to deal with it. We live in a world that uses money to exist, and we all have time and energy, and so we're all working on wealth. So it's for everybody, and I read for everybody. All right, to that end, we're going to break it down. We're going to start off for those that are working, but remember, I'll read for everyone. If you're in a job right now, burnout is for some of you, not all of you. I'll do my best to, this is broad, but I want to also not take 3 hours on it. So some of you are burned out. You've made up your mind. It's time to move on. Work your magic before you do that. What I've learned from my own experiences is create the safety net, get your better offer, and be willing to call your own bluff. I think based on this, it isn't even worth taking a counter offer for those of you that are burned out. The devil you know is still the devil. And if you had to force an offer, it's not going to change. You can't change. The devil's not going to change. So find something better, go for it, do it on your own volition. That's my advice for those that are burned out. Can you find it? Yes, we'll look more at that when we go into job seeking. But that's the first thing that I see. Okay. If things are going well in your office and you want to stay in your job, and I can see why some of you are poised for like elevation or success, the main thing that I see this week is your patience will be tried. Someone's acting a fool here in the Five of Swords. They're pushing other people's buttons. It might be affecting morale. You've probably been working a lot. There could have been turnover or a merger or a big change, reorganization. Typically it's the Tower, but Judgment can be that too. This is usually not a merger. This is a reorg. So the business is reinventing itself. Not everyone's happy. Some people are very hurt. Things actually might be going in the right direction. It's necessary change. A lot of people don't want to let go of it. Can you be part of this new group of people that are bringing it from 10 of Swords to 10 of Pentacles? Because I actually see a comeback story here. But it's messy, and there's some work to be done. If you're like, my business isn't transforming, what else is this? Just avoid arguments, avoid the inner saboteur, control what you can, let go of what you can't, surrender the rest. Remember, we had it here, surrender, stay open-minded. It'll pay off in the long run. But it is a week where your patience is tried, that much I can say. People like being around you though. So what might also be happening is a lot of this, 5 of Swords, 10 of Swords, devil energy is coming around you because they're like, please cleanse me, clear the path, show the way. You're not everybody's teacher and therapist, so remember that. All right, let's change now. If you're looking for work, first things first, I kind of feel like if you were laid off and you have some severance, or if you had a parachute thing and you have a little bit of padding, please take a day, a week, a little bit of time before starting the next job, because if you have the abundance to do so, your mind and your body is tired, okay? I get it. We can't always do that. I came from one job when I was working corporate where someone was just super cruel and it was not fun. It was super toxic. And I had to start the next job the following Monday. I had no time between them. Couldn't take even a day off. Sometimes that happens. But it was such a rapid, sort of like reset. And I was thrown into a brand new role that was really, really difficult. I was so tired mentally. I just go home and go to sleep. Sometimes wouldn't even eat dinner. And that's not good. So if you can give yourself a buffer between the last job and the next job, please do so, okay? Here's what else I see. I really want you to pay attention as you're job seeking to environment and expectations. If somebody on the job description would say, you need to be willing to work night, weekends, and be on call, unless I'm a doctor and I know that that's part of what it is. No. Am I saving the world? No, I don't. If I put in a 8 or 10 hour day, you should not call me at midnight. It can wait until tomorrow. So I would look at that and just say I'm not doing that anymore. But that's also because I've done it. I worked for a long time in corporate jobs and I did a lot of that. And I just realized now at this point in my life, it didn't matter. That project, that presentation, that launch, nobody cares about it. It's gone. And that's life energy that I can't get back. So unless you're changing the world and saving a life, have some boundaries. And also, you don't have to be on mop-up duty for everybody else. So pay attention to wording that is cautionary. Pay attention to wording that doesn't give you freedom, like non-competitive clause. Nope, going somewhere else. I don't want that. Nights, weekends, and on-call, nope. And we don't, if the culture is closed and they don't invite open thinking, nope. These are your red flags. I'm helping you. A workaholic environment, a closed group that doesn't invite questioning, and someone that's trying to take too much. Let's let go of those. Be patient. There is a very good one here. This is open. This is a place where there's lots of representation. I talked about, I'll find it here, the tradition. Oh, here we go. How about that for synchronicity? The traditional 10 of Pentacles. Next to the Death card, it's the only one that has this much representation of age in different lives. So we have an old man, we have a young kid, we have people in the middle, we also even have animals on this card. The Death card also has the same thing. People that are rich, people that are powerful, people that are poor, people that are young, a mother, a child. So this is what we're looking for, is diversity and representation and openness. Openness, that's the key. We don't want a closed environment if you're job seeking, okay? Avoid the closing energy. Sometimes you have to take a short-term gig, I get it. Make sure that that you can get out of the contract if you need to. That would be my only advice here. And maybe some of you are just surrendering to the understanding that I'm gonna do this on my own this time. I just got tired of going from one template of job to the same type of job. Because I used to work in studios, there's only so many studios. And after a while, it's like, it's all the same job, it's all the same culture, just different brand names. So I'm like, well, I'll do something different. So maybe that's where you're at too. Can you find it? Yes, but you're going to have to wait a little bit. I'm going to be honest. It may be towards the latter part of this week where you start to hear some news. It might be 4 or 5 days in. And again, don't accept something that has a red flag. If you have to, make sure there's an escape clause. Mix and mingle. Remember we had the 3 of Cups coming through for some of you. That's how you can find the next thing. Also, I'm looking for a new apartment. If you're looking for something new, there was a person coming out of a place, and there was a realtor that I'm working with to help find a place too. She was late, so I just talked to the resident that was there. I said, hey, do you like this place? And she was so honest, because she said, don't take it. And she went through the whole laundry list. Talk to someone that works there. Ask, what's good, what's bad? Should I take this? You might be surprised in what you get. So I'm super curious and communicative now when I'm trying to find something new, okay? And oddly enough, Sunday, folks, I'm looking at this, the sun, you may get a job offer or some epiphany or big breakthrough next Sunday. It could take a full 7 days, or today. But the sun's day, I'm looking at that as the brightest card. All right, so we looked at those in a job, looking for job. I'm going to go to retirees, then students. If you're retired, please take care of yourself. You've done a lot for others. Some of you are also just sick and tired of working. I don't blame you. It's a lot. Do something that creates joy and passion. This is a healing card, by the way. If you've never had a Reiki healing session or massage therapy or chiropractic treatment, this is the card of healing. This is healing something in your body or in your emotions. Go to a healer. This is a great energy. Or learn more about healing modalities. There are so many. So, now we're out of health, but we're looking at health and wealth. So it's your turn to take care of yourself. You are not your past. You are not your job. This is something I wish I could have told to my dad and prepared him more. So when we leave a path, there is this feeling of, what am I? I'm stripped of that veneer. Yes, you are, but now you are this. You're the babe in the woods. You're brand new. So take this chapter as an experiment, and also remember, like when you're a kid, you can try on any hat, anything that you want to do. At least when I was a kid, you would look at being a cop, a fireman, a nurse, private investigator, whatever. Every day you could change your mind. When you're retired, you can start to explore those avenues as well. There may be an opportunity to help someone or to earn some money if you want it. But this is just saying you're much more than your job. And I realize that now that I'm not in a traditional job, because I'm able to do a lot of different things, because nobody tells me I can't. Isn't that great? Like, if you just want to try it, try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you tried it. We have too many people that tell you can't. So I'm here to tell retirees, and in a moment, students, you can. So students, I'm so sorry many of you are working really, really hard. I've been there. I remember this. This can be finals. Please don't burn yourself out. Please remember there's a diminishing return when it comes to staying up late. And don't take one bad test or score as the end-all be-all. You will come out of this. You will come through this. You can fail a class and still have a successful career. You can drop out of college and still have I'm not encouraging you to do any of these things, but Steve Jobs quit school. Lots of people most actors didn't go to school. So the degree in and of itself is not a guarantee of success. Failing something in the same right does not mean that you are a failure. It means that you didn't connect with that teacher or that topic. That's it. Or if you're just feeling frustration and burnout, take a minute, take a break, take a semester, take a lighter load next semester. You don't have to make any major decisions. I chose the 8 of Cups at the beginning. It's just saying, get some clarity. And don't judge one incident and kind of then like project that out on everything. I think that that's the main message for students, is that there could be a mountain from a molehill, one small thing. And I also talked to one of the current signs about this too, but unless you're doing like a job in the government or, I don't know, somewhere where they're going to go down to a granular thing and look at every grade, most people don't care. Nobody cares what you got when you were in the 5th grade, when you were in the 2nd semester of your junior year of whatever. No one's looking. So just take it in stride, focus on something else, redirect, you'll be fine. I think that's everything. I covered it all in an exhausting way. All right, and take a step back. I didn't even go to the Oracle card. This is especially now for everybody, but my students especially. Thank you, angels, for helping me take a step back from what's not serving me. Nice way to close it out after I went through all of it. So in everything that you're doing, this is what I saw in the car. Turning the car to the side of the street, walking a different path and thinking, how did I end up here? Where am I? Take a step back, one step at a time. It could be the Fool for some of you, but the Fool is just about ready to start something new. You got to clear your head first. All right. We'll go a little bit lighter into love here. And I'll try to move a little quicker so we're not here forever. All right, the raccoon. One thing that I like about raccoons is that they are resourceful. So one of the things that we're looking at in relationships is being resourceful. They are a little bit, this is a little 7 of Swords energy, because raccoons will tip over garbage cans and rummage through it. So we do want to be mindful of people that are snooping around or doing things in the shadows. We got the 5 of Swords, we have the Devil, that's the 7 of Swords energy. So if someone is trying to get away with something, you're obviously going to call that out. And the reminder this particular week is just be accountable. That's the main message there. All right, a little bit higher level on relationships. I felt the need to go deeper into wealth. Love, I'm just going to go a little higher this week. Okay, so we'll start off with those in a relationship looking for love or happily single. If you're in a relationship, the main thing this week is to elevate communication here with the 10 of Swords. One or both of you may be holding a grudge, and this is about forgiveness. The Judgment card is for just forgiveness. And if you're willing to put in the work and start anew, you can, okay? That's the first thing. If a secret is being kept, it's going to come to the light of day. It's better if you just come through and say, I should have told you this, but this is why I didn't. This is what's going on. If your partner is honest and open enough to share something with you, you can say, I need to think about that. I wasn't expecting this. You don't have to cast judgment immediately. Or you can say, 1, don't keep a secret again. 2, I'm glad you told me it. 3, I need to think about it and I might have some questions for you. I think all of those are natural responses. And then just say, I love you and I appreciate you sharing it with me, but this is something I have to think about now. Fair enough. That's it. Something like that. Send a disclaimer. I'm not a therapist, but that's kind of what came through as I saw that. By the way, one or both of you could also be on the precipice of success. And it feels like here that there could be kind of like an interesting turn in the road here. Some of you are like, one could be on an uptick, one could be going through a challenge. And remember, for better or for worse, you're still like energy, like attracts like. So if one partner is really succeeding, the other partner will eventually be able to match that. Or if the partner sees value in you, just know that you're okay. You don't have to there's no need to sort of like feel pressure or feel bad or anything like that. So it could just, and as I'm talking about that, I have a solar plexus sort of feeling there. So there is a power struggle, or for some of you, a change that's happened, a change of power dynamics. Possibly one person that used to be the core breadwinner is no longer, and someone else is. And it's just about negotiating that and taking it in stride and just thinking, well, this is part of partnership. Maybe I can do something now. Maybe I can take a turn in the road and try something else. If you're looking for love, one last thing, there could be a third party coming in. Could just be friend or parent or in-law. If it is someone else, that has to be dealt with, obviously. But I like to sometimes read the devil on a higher level, which is just holding back or trying to control one another, or even just restricting thoughts. But if it is a third party, that has to be dealt with first and foremost. Okay, reset. If you are looking for love this week, much like job seeking, I think inner healing has to happen first. I don't think it's a great time to kind of jump into a relationship. I'm going to be really honest with you. I think the main thing to focus on is physical and emotional healing. I think that it's also really important to clean up what's ever going on in either your health or your environment. And when you do that, almost like I saw that person taking a selfie and then I was somewhere else, someone will come into your life pretty quickly. We see past life energy. That's why you got to fix what's going on in your life first, so that the karmic partnership isn't carrying with it any teaching elements. It can just be fun. It can be more love than a teacher. But it's rebirth or reborn. There also could be a child in the picture with the devil could be like a divorce, and there could be then this child. And so there's some complications. I honestly think this week, focus on you. And we're going to look at that next. But this is really a week to take it slowly. If you're really dead set on finding love, be open. The person that's coming through is not necessarily what your normal expectations are. I said that they may be like whatever it is that you're seeking, a job, an opportunity, a love interest. It might be like right there in the periphery, but just not your typical type. Or you didn't think that they liked you back, and you just have to keep an open mind. Okay? Okay. And that thing that I was talking about, rejection, it's protection too. So if you ask someone out and they say no, just say thanks. Thanks for being honest. Okay, single and happy, great time to be single and happy. Possibly the easiest time. This is a really good time for character and personal development. The Sun card, really great time to get your resources where they need to, and to see like an amazing healing uptick happen in your life. That's it. Like I said, I'm going to stay a little bit lighter on love, but those are the main messages. Wow, this is a very powerful card for destiny. It says the silence. When we are in that period of time between things happening, the silence, the lull, it can be a little bit off-putting. I think of my mom who's passed away, but she used to need the TV on all the time. She didn't like silence because she didn't really want to be lost in her thoughts. I'm okay with silence. I get ideas. I'm always thinking of new things. I need to tune into my intuition. When I walk the dog or when I drive the car, that's when I listen to other people's podcasts or an audiobook or something like that. But I don't need noise all the time. And this is saying make a little bit of room for the quiet, for the silence. Some clarity can come in. Okay? Some of you may be breaking a silence, and this is okay because the silence that you might be keeping could be one of pain or injustice. So I'm okay with that. But don't feel the need to fill every moment, particularly in a relationship. Quiet time, downtime is okay. I don't always make a spectacle of Apollo. He's really happy. He's sleeping. He's napping in the background. If he gets up or if he moves around, I'll bring him up. But he just is having his moment. Quiet is good. Good relationships allow for the quiet. Otherwise, imagine if, like, maybe some of you do remember when you were kids, if someone would come in and mess up your hair and love you and kiss you and smooch you, you're like, bah, get out of my space, right? Give me my space. Dogs will do the same sometimes too. They're pushing away, or a little baby. Give people space this week and ask for the space that you deserve as well. Okay? In the silence, you might actually get an idea or something really important. It's about opening up your mind. Okay? Let's look at the big idea. The big idea is going to help us see Let's see, we're looking at anchors and blocks. They're kind of the same. I don't need to pull two. So just one card to either help reveal or help elevate. What is the anchor or what is the opportunity? So many synchronicities today. We have justice reversed. So here we go again. The big block here for some of you is just being able to say no, stop, don't do that, or this doesn't feel right, or I don't understand. There are times when it's harder, when it's an authority figure, a trusted mentor, a doctor, a therapist, someone who should know better but doesn't. You can still say, this doesn't work for me. This can be a termination of a contract, just like I did. Breaking a lease, breaking a contract, saying no, taking legal action. Also just opening yourself up and thinking, I can, I will, I am. You know, that's my favorite little go-to mantra. And also focusing on what brings you joy and lightness of being and lightness in your heart. That's really, really important right now. Okay? That's everything. We're going to now go, there are two extra parts. We're going to first look at meditation together, and then I'll pull one final card. So if you have one more question, stick around for like 2 minutes and we'll go there. So while I'm doing that, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It helps. And then we'll think about something here. I think I'm going to work with the energy of the Three of Wands. We're going to allow you to set sail. So that's the meditation, and then I'll look at the final card. Okay, so do me a favor, close your eyes, please. And I'd like you to focus on the breathing first and foremost. So as you breathe, pay attention to your body. If there's any pain or discomfort in your body, just allow the breath to go into that space, open it up, and on the exhale, let go of it. If there's any emotional pain, same thing applies. Allow the breath to just simply go into that emotion and imagine that you could breathe the emotion out of your body. What we're trying to do is get you to a place of balance or neutrality, since justice kept coming up. Now imagine yourself at a beautiful beach, the kind where the sand is perfectly sort of crystal clear and white, and it's been cleaned and groomed and it looks great. And as you look into the water, it is that sort of aquamarine water where you can see all the way down and the light starts to ripple. Allow yourself, if you will, to take a few steps into the water so it's just maybe up to your knees, and see that there is a raft or a ship or a boat coming towards you. With each breath that you take, pull that closer to you and feel that you are one step closer to achieving something amazing or beautiful in your life. If you literally want to be the temperance angel, you could keep 1 foot on the beach, 1 foot in the water, and just kind of welcome in this opportunity. Okay? Breathe as we're doing this, see the ship coming to you, and then we'll take a look at your final card after the meditation. Take a deep breath. Slowly walk back to the shore. Now, whatever it is that you've been waiting for, see it as right there, right in front of you. Message, dream, or opportunity received. and know that you are, in fact, capable of calling in that synchronicity or that opportunity. Know that you are also deserving of it as well. One last deep breath. Open your eyes when you're ready. Focus, if you will, now on one final question that you have for me. Well, that's quite nice. Okay, we have King of Cups, a welcome card, because we did have, like I said earlier, I love it when we have work that comes through showing us what we need to focus on. And this was a spread where there was some good, there was some challenging stuff, but it ended on a good note with the 10 of Pentacles and now with the King of Cups. So when it comes to love and creativity and also intuition, King of Cups is fantastic. It shows that there's something good on the horizon here. And if you seek something, you can get it. So this is a good news card, happiness card. I love this illustration because it also shows one of the things that you want to be aware of. So we see this little octopus tentacle or arm that is kind of grabbing onto his leg. There may be someone or something that's trying to take more of your time or energy or try to get you pulled into something. He actually already is aware of it. And I love how he's just tossing one of the chalices over the throne. He's like, no, I'm done with that. We're done with that. So if someone tries this, just say, forget about it. He's still got plenty of energy and he doesn't need someone or something else's validation to be whole. Because if we take that out, he's still the King of Cups. And he can easily kind of shake that tentacle off. So that's the only thing that I see this week is some of you are one step away from something amazing and someone might try to tug at your heartstrings or tug at you a little bit. Don't let it happen. As a yes or no, by the way, this is a yes. As a general sort of mini read, it's just saying it's a week of passion, creativity, intuition, all of that's coming through. It connects really nicely to the Magician. Follow through on what your heart is telling you to do. And that's really what this is all about. Definitely a highly creative and sensitive card. So there we go. Nice to end on an uptick with that as well. Thanks again for everybody that showed up. We're going to just do a little bit of chatting here at the end. I want to say again, thank you for subscribing and also clicking the notification button that should help you get notifications when I go live. But if you don't, give me a follow on social media. All the major platforms, I basically will post whenever I've done one card reading or if I've done a podcast or something new, it'll all go out there as well. Very selectively sometimes. I have a newsletter too, but I usually only send it out for big announcements now, like a podcast or something really big on the channel. So know that I won't spam you on that. It's going to be maybe once a month at max. I just have so many things going on that I don't always send it out. So all of these are great ways to stay in touch. If you ever see someone that reaches out that pretends to be me, please be mindful that I don't give private readings. I don't have multiple accounts. I'm not going to do something like that. So you can safely block and report. There's a little form on my website too if you want to let me know who it is, or you can just put a comment here on YouTube and I'll find that person and block and report them too. If you want to know what my schedule is, typically it's Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I've been busy, so sometimes it will be adjusted. It's always announced on my main channel page. Live streams every Sunday like clockwork, unless there's a major holiday or something special going on, and daily card reads as well. And as I said earlier, if you haven't already seen it, the podcast is out. It's on the podcast tab. If you prefer to listen to podcasts, you can also get it on any of the major podcast directories. I'd like to take a couple minutes now just to say thanks to those that gave back. So give me a moment to do that right now. Thanks to Dakota for putting all the links in chat. I do appreciate that. All right, so let's begin first with the newest members or those that were gifted memberships, and then I'll celebrate any milestones and then stickers. Okay, let's see who is new today. All right, so KK Chamb, probably for Chambers, Lashandia, thank you so much. Dawn, KV, Semolina, Kate, Elsie, and Ma Neves, I think it is. Thank you guys. Good to see you or welcome back. Let me also take a moment here to celebrate the milestones here. So let me go to fan funding here. And we have some gifted memberships too. So by the way, Ma Neves, I can see it was brand new today, probably right before the live stream that you joined. So thank you. Kat, you gifted one membership. You rock. Thank you so much. Tahoe, 32 months. That's a long time. That's a lot of locations too. I'll be moving again. Thank you so much for your continued support. Always good to see you. Lori, thank you for 7 months, and I'm glad that this helped you out today. Colette, 5 memberships. Thanks for expanding the family of viewers here. I appreciate it. Aqualian Soul, wow. Thank you for gifting 1 as well. And I think I got everyone else here. Lorna, 29 months. That's amazing too. Thank you for showing up. Monica, I saw you just also provided a sticker there, so thank you. Okay, so that's actually what I was going to do next. So let me say thanks to all the super stickers and super chat, and then we'll wrap up for today. Okay, super stickers, super chat. Monica just mentioned you. Jeannie Hart, Lucy, Lori, and I think I got everyone. All right, guys, that's it for today. Remember, before we leave, if you like this, leave a comment when this goes on replay, like it. If you like my podcast, same thing, give it a positive rating. Anything you do of that nature helps other people discover what I do, and I appreciate it. Apollo's awake now. Let me see. I'll bring him up here for a cameo at the end, and I'm going to take this little lovely guy for a walk. Oh, I know, buddy. I hope all of you are doing something to engage with that energy of the Four of Swords, resting, taking care of yourself, spending some time with friends, family, maybe a pet like me, and wishing you much love and life. Love, life, and light, I should say always. Take care, guys. Good to see you. Bye-bye.